Have you ever had such a close call? It makes your skin shiver every time you think about it. I was 19 when my mom's friend Rachel asked if I could house sit while she went on some fancy cruise. 3 weeks in this old farmhouse outside town. Just me and her fat orange cat named Biscuit. Perfect timing too, since I needed somewhere quiet to study for midterms. The house was ancient, all creaky floorboards and weird drafts, but it had character. No neighbors for miles, which I loved because my dorm was loud as hell. First few nights were exactly what I needed. I'd wake up, feed Biscuit, water the plants, then spend all day buried in textbooks. The cat was chill, just slept on windowsills and followed me around sometimes. I felt like I was living in some peaceful movie where nothing bad happens. But on Thursday night, something was off. I came home from the library around 9, and the attic door was cracked open. You know those pull-down ladder things? It was hanging down maybe 6 inches. I stared at it for a minute, trying to remember if I'd been up there. I hadn't. Rachel never mentioned the attic, and I had zero reason to go poking around. I figured maybe Biscuit knocked something loose, or the house was just old and settling. I pushed the ladder back up and went to bed. Friday night, I walked in from class and nearly dropped my backpack. The attic ladder was fully extended, hanging down into the hallway like someone had just climbed up or down. My heart started hammering. I stood there for probably 5 minutes just listening. The house was dead quiet except for Biscuit purring somewhere upstairs. I grabbed a kitchen knife and checked every room, every closet, behind every door. Nothing. No broken windows, no unlocked doors, nothing missing. I called my mom, panicking a little, and she just laughed. Honey, maybe the cat jumped on something. Those old houses do weird things, but cats don't pull down attic ladders. I knew that. Still, what else could it be? I pushed the ladder back up and dragged a chair over to jam against it. Then I locked my bedroom door that night, which I'd never done before. Saturday was normal. Sunday was normal. I started thinking maybe mom was right. Maybe I was being paranoid. The chair hadn't moved. The ladder stayed put. Tuesday night changed everything. I woke up at 3 in the morning to the softest sound, like someone dragging a heavy bag across the floor, but muffled, and it was coming from directly above my bed, the attic. I lay there frozen, listening. Drag, pause, slow and deliberate, then nothing. I waited maybe 10 minutes before grabbing my phone and turning on the flashlight. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold it. The dragging started again. This time it sounded like someone crawling, moving from one end of the attic to the other. I could hear the old wood creaking under weight, human weight. I slid out of bed as quietly as possible and crept into my closet, closing the door behind me. Then I called 911, whispering so quietly I could barely hear myself. There's someone in my attic. I can hear them moving around up there. The dispatcher kept me on the line while 2 officers drove out. Longest 12 minutes of my life. I sat in that closet listening to footsteps above me, trying not to breathe too loud. At one point, I heard what sounded like someone dropping something small and metal. It rolled across the floor above me. When the cops arrived, they went straight up with flashlights. I heard one of them yell, "Police!" and then a bunch of scrambling noises, then shouting. They found him. Some guy, maybe 40, dirty as hell, curled up under a pile of insulation and old blankets. He'd been living up there for at least a week, coming down while I was at class to eat food from the fridge and use the bathroom. He had a small knife, a notebook full of creepy drawings of women, and he'd been watching me through the heating vents. The worst part? The officer told me he'd probably been there before I even arrived. He might have watched Rachel leave for her cruise, then just waited for whoever showed up next. They arrested him. Turns out he was some drifter with mental health problems who'd done this before to other houses. The only reason he never came into my room, the cop said, was because I'd been locking my door. That tiny habit, something I'd never done before but started doing after the ladder incident, probably saved my life. I called Rachel and told her everything. She cut her cruise short and came home the next day, apologizing over and over. She had no idea anyone could get into the attic from outside. I never house sit anymore.